Hello, everyone. Welcome to the News Browse News broadcast. Al Jazeera reports that the Iranian military has ordered an Indian ship to abort its passage through the critical Strait of Hormuz. This incident, captured on video, comes as Iran states the decision is a direct response to a continued blockade of its ports by the United States. The Strait of Hormuz is a vital international shipping lane for global energy supplies, and any disruption or military action in the area raises significant concerns for regional stability and international trade. This development highlights the escalating tensions between Iran and the United States, with potential broader implications for maritime navigation in the Middle East. Al Jazeera reports that Israeli forces have established a yellow line in southern Lebanon, a measure similar to one implemented in the besieged Gaza Strip. This marks the first time Israel has referenced such a line in Lebanon following the recent 10-day ceasefire. In Gaza, the yellow line divides the territory into an Israeli military-controlled eastern area and a less restricted western area for Palestinians, with Israeli troops regularly firing on those approaching it and demolishing hundreds of homes. Al Jazeera's reporter suggested this move represents the continuation of the Gazification of southern Lebanon, with Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz having previously indicated plans to demolish Lebanese border villages based on Gaza models. Despite the ceasefire, Israel has continued artillery attacks and home demolitions in southern Lebanon, justifying them as self-defense against immediate threats. Hezbollah Secretary General Naim Qassem emphasized that the truce requires adherence from both sides, warning of retaliation for violations and demanding Israel's complete withdrawal from Lebanon. Past ceasefires have seen numerous Israeli violations. U.S. President Donald Trump announced potential talks between Israeli and Lebanese leaders to end the fighting. According to Liberty Times, 2 American officials have revealed that U.S. President Donald Trump convened a White House Situation Room meeting this morning with senior officials to discuss the renewed crisis in the Strait of Hormuz and ongoing negotiations with Iran. American news outlet Axios reported that the situation between the U.S. and Iran is currently at a critical juncture, with the existing ceasefire agreement set to expire in 3 days and no date yet confirmed for the next round of talks. A high-ranking U.S. official warned that if a breakthrough is not achieved soon, conflict could erupt within days. Attendees at the Situation Room meeting reportedly included Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, Secretary of the Treasury Scott Bessent, White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, White House Envoy Steve Witkoff, CIA Director John Ratcliffe, and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Dan Kane. Vice President Vance is expected to participate in the upcoming U.S.-Iran negotiations. The White House declined to comment on the matter. Axios, citing an informed source, noted that while both sides had been making progress in narrowing their differences regarding the limitation of Iran's uranium enrichment technology and stockpiles, tensions subsequently escalated again in the Strait of Hormuz. The Trump administration, as reported by Epoch Times on Friday, April 17th, sanctioned 7 commanders of pro-Iranian military organizations operating within Iraq. These individuals are accused of planning, directing, and executing attacks against U.S. personnel, facilities, and interests. The targeted groups include Kataib Hezbollah, Harakat al-Nuhaba, Kataib Saeed al-Shuhada, and Ace Aib al-Haq, all of which maintain ties with Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC. and have been designated as specially designated global terrorists and foreign terrorist organizations. The U.S. Treasury Department stated that these sanctions are part of the Economic Fury initiative under the broader Operation Epic Fury, aimed at increasing economic pressure on Iran. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent emphasized that the U.S. would not tolerate threats to American lives or interests and warned that facilitators of violence would be held accountable. U.S. State Department Principal Deputy Spokesperson Tommy Pigott urged Iraqi authorities to take immediate steps to dismantle these groups, reaffirming the Trump administration's commitment to protecting Americans abroad, countering Iran's destructive influence, and supporting a stable, sovereign, and prosperous Iraq. These sanctions follow an aggressive campaign of attacks by Iranian-backed militias against U.S. facilities in Iraq since early February. UPI reports that the number of deaths among immigration and customs enforcement (ICE) detainees has dramatically increased, surpassing a high recorded in 2004. In 2025, there were 33 reported deaths, with an additional 17 deaths already recorded in 2026. This surge coincides with the Trump administration's aggressive immigration crackdown, which has resulted in ICE detaining the highest number of people in its history since its creation in 2003. The Department of Homeland Security, DHS, acknowledged the deaths, stating, "Death rates in custody under the Trump administration are 0.009% of the detained population." The statement controversially added, "Being in detention is a choice. We encourage all illegal aliens to take control of their departure with the CBP Home app." ICE Director Todd Lyons, who oversaw much of the administration's enforcement efforts, attributed the spike in deaths partly to the unprecedented detention levels. He also noted that $500 million was spent last year on detainee health care, including prompt medical evaluations. Lyons resigned hours after testifying to Congress about the issue. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.